If you're stuck in your head, overanalyzing everything, stuck in the what ifs, second-guessing your choices every time you try to make a decision, then this is for you. Especially if you're the kind of person who knows what they want to do but can't seem to start. Or worse, you freeze and then you beat yourself up for freezing. You're not indecisive, you're not lazy, and you're not as much of a hot mess as you think you are. You're probably dealing with executive dysfunction, and your brain is protecting you in the only way that it knows how. Executive dysfunction is a dissonance between your desire to do things and your ability to execute them. Most people take executive functioning skills like planning and follow-through for granted. But for people like us who have been through life events that severed that connection, it's an armoire of skills that need to be relearned. So let's talk about what's actually happening with all of the overthinking and why just be confident doesn't work. Hi, I'm Anna, and I help people just like myself who struggle with self-sabotaging behaviors like perfectionism and procrastination break free from that executive dysfunction that stems from trauma, abuse, or neurodivergence. On this channel, I share actionable tools, mindset shifts, and things that you can apply in your day-to-day life to start showing up for yourself after a lifetime of inaction. If you're ready to overcome self-doubt and actually fulfill that version of yourself in your mind's eye, then hit the subscribe button and join me every week for new insights. First, let's clear something up. Overthinking itself isn't the problem. It's a symptom of a nervous system that doesn't feel safe moving forward. Oftentimes, the advice that we receive is addressing the overthinking like that's the root cause. And so anything we use to try to make it better is really just a band-aid on a bigger situation, because in reality, it's stemming from something much deeper. When your brain is stuck in a cycle of self-sabotaging behaviors like perfectionism, procrastination, and just in general not following through on anything that it wants to do, your brain starts to equate action with danger. And we pick up these coping mechanisms from all over the place, from narcissistic abuse, trauma, all throughout our childhood or even our adulthood. It can also be due to academic pressure, societal expectations, so many different things. Things that are outside of our control, but then have then changed the way that we show up in the world for the rest of our lives. And so you hesitate, you wait, and you rehearse every possible outcome. You get stuck in the planning mode because it's safer than actually doing. In my case, I remember specifically perfecting the path on which I would then pursue my goal, but never actually starting down that path. I was trying to account for every possible failure, every single facet of my humanity that could get in my own way, when in reality, this coping mechanism never let me get started at all. So that's the hard truth. It wasn't doing me any favors. In fact, it was actually holding me back from being able to make progress. And so that's why I'm saying overthinking is self-sabotage and self-protection in disguise. But what you're really doing is avoiding risk, not because you're weak, but because your brain has learned that mistakes equates to shame. So then, how do you break the cycle? How do you move forward when your brain is screaming, are you really sure about this? Are you really sure that we can actually get started and that we have all the information we need? I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't wait until you feel confident, because confidence does not come first. Clarity doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from feeling safe. But I want to clear something up. I'm not giving you this information to null the accountability aspect on your part. You have to take responsibility moving forward for your actions. You can't hide behind the fact that you didn't know, but you clicked on this video. You chose to learn. So take this information and do something with it. So I'm going to give you 3 powerful shifts that actually work when executive dysfunction is a big part of your reality. Number 1 is stop trying to be right. Perfectionism fuels overthinking because it makes you believe there's only one correct path. If you choose wrong, not only are you going to fail, but what does that say about you? But what if the goal isn't to be right? What if the goal is to be honest about what you want? Even if it's messy, even if you change your mind later, even if it's not the perfect thing to do, you're allowed to take action that aligns with who you are today. And that's not being reckless, that's being brave. Number 2 is make the decisions smaller. I know you've heard this advice before, but there's a reason that you're still stuck here, and it's probably because this advice wasn't communicated properly to you. If every choice feels like it could blow up your life, then there's no wonder that you're paralyzed. Instead of trying to commit to the whole project, the whole goal, the whole to-do list, try these instead. What's the next clear step? And what's one 10-second action I can take to move this forward? Overthinking loves overwhelming to-do lists, whether or not you have all the details. Overwhelm is going to happen whether the list is too vague or, in my case, if it's too perfect and too accounting for every detail. And often, the perfect plan you made isn't as specific as you think it is. Clarity, on the other hand, lives in bite-sized, concrete movements. It's about the next right thing you can trust and depend on no matter what happens 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, an hour from now. Number 3 is stop shaming the stuck version of you. You're not getting stuck because you don't care. You know that. You're getting stuck because your brain, and oftentimes your inner child, is trying to protect you from judgment and disappointment, that feeling of being a failure. If you want to move forward, you need to start equating your stuckness with compassion, not judgment. So you say, I know this is scary, but I'm going to help us take one step anyway. That's the voice that builds true confidence. It's not flashy or over the top, over promising, over commitment. It's trustworthy. And if you're ready to start building true self-trust and stop second-guessing yourself, then I've built a free resource just for you. It's packed with simple, actionable tips to help you start trusting your own decisions. That way, you can start moving forward with confidence. You can download it right now by clicking the link in the description or just commenting trust, and I'll comment it right back. So here's the big takeaway. If you're overthinking, it's not because you're broken. It's not because there's this eternal dialogue in your brain that's always going to be getting in your way for the rest of your life. Do we tend to be very creative people who have a lot of thoughts? Yes. Do we tend to be ambitious people who have a lot of things we want to do? Yes. But overthinking does not have to be your enemy. That inner voice, that compassion, that kindness, that empathy, that's a strength that some people don't have and will never understand. But the only way to let it be an asset instead of a liability is to let yourself feel safe, to let your nervous system regulate. So give yourself safety, give yourself choice, give it proof that you're not going to abandon yourself when things get hard. Confidence doesn't come from getting it right. Confidence doesn't come from finally completing the perfect to-do list. Because even if you were to, which is typically impossible, you wouldn't even register the success and you would move on to expecting something greater of yourself. Confidence comes from showing up for yourself again and again, no matter how uncertain you feel. You don't have to think your way out of overthinking. You just have to start listening. Start there, and clarity gets a lot easier to find. If this hit home, then let me know in the comments below. What is one thing that you've been spiraling on lately? And if you want more support on how to work with these unique pieces of you instead of fighting against them, then don't forget to subscribe. This is just the beginning.